With all eyes on the shutdown showdown, lawmakers are also keeping an eye on the looming debt ceiling. After next week, the government is expected to hit the limit if it doesn't act. Matt Markham is here to help us understand the impact that could have on all of us. Matt?
Hi, Jerry. Well, the people who really have to worry are those of us who could owe money as well. But there are plenty of other tangible ways we could be paying if Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling, and there isn't much headroom already.
Confidence is being eroded as we speak.
Financial planner Associates.Fagan says if the government runs out of money, we could have less to spend.
You could expect higher interest rates on almost anything because of the credit rating in the United States will suffer.
The debt ceiling is the whole amount of money the government can borrow to pay its bills. If lawmakers can agree on a plan, negotiations over the debt ceiling, the budget, and the Affordable Care Act are causing a standoff in Washington.
It will affect stocks and bonds. It will affect the mortgage market. It will affect the soundness of U.S. banks.
Add car loan rates to the list, especially if you plan to take one out. If no agreement is reached, your Social Security check may fail to show up, and the markets will likely go down.
I'd be much less apt to buy a home amidst a falling stock market, amidst a labor market which will then be weakening.
During the discussion, the climb still continues to the top of that limit and might buck any positive movement the housing market may have made.
Let's say you have a fixed mortgage now at 3 1/4. That's not going to be affected. However, all new mortgages, all new loans probably will be affected.
And with the threat that your finances could be strained, Main Street may also suffer. We'll be less likely to spend, and businesses will be less likely to borrow. It's a roadblock they might not be able to afford.
We're in a relatively modest recovery that we don't need any self-inflicted wounds.
All right, well, the good news, according to Fagan, is that if Congress fails to act by next week, the markets will eventually rebound, but it could take twice as long as the time the Dow could dip. But he also says cooler heads will likely prevail and finds it hard to believe that lawmakers won't come to some sort of agreement soon. We'll see, Jerry.
All right, well, I'll keep hoping. Thanks, Matt. This is certainly not the first time the U.S. economy has been held hostage by deadlock in Washington. You'll remember back in January, it was the fiscal cliff, simultaneous increase in tax rates and decrease of government spending that would have kicked in if lawmakers didn't update old laws. Republicans eventually agreed to raise taxes, ending the stalemate. Then, just weeks later, it was the sequester, automatic spending cuts that threatened a number of government programs from Meals on Wheels to tax refunds. Lawmakers managed to reach a temporary deal at the 11th hour, which leads us to what's happening right now, a shutdown and a debt ceiling dilemma. We'll stay on all of it for you. Well, we want to know how the fiscal frenzy affects you, so hop online and take our news content survey. You can give your opinion on the best options to resolve government gridlock in Washington and what you believe should happen to the national debt limit. Just go to the website, CBS6Albany.com.